going. It's Sissel. Say hi.
Hello, Facebook.
We're waiting for some people to join us. Some people.
You'll be able to join in. And you go start from the beginning now?
Yeah, we're going to just start inviting people and they can listen. I'm going to fill that audience for in a minute.
Do you want to sit on this and I'll sit in the chair?
No, it's right there. It's good. Alright. Y'all are probably wondering what I'm doing. I've been inviting friends, so thank you for joining. I see my uncle and Mark and Lisa. You know, I have been moved in an incredible way, and I had to share with you. You all have seen that I put out a GoFundMe for Travis Sissel. And Travis I've known since he was 7 months old, and a lot of you in Rockwall are familiar with his journey. He's had an incredible fight for his life with cancer. And we did a GoFundMe because he's in a place now where his health, he's fighting once again. The Lord has moved us in a way to share his story today. And so what I want to do is just whatever we do is all Jesus Christ. And so instead of just focusing on where he is, he has not officially shared his story. And so it's incredible. It's nothing short of a miracle. I have invited Travis here.
Hello.
And I'm going to shut these blinds so that you can see him better.
No need to see me.
And we're going to share with you an amazing journey of God, what he did to move a mountain. And so, Travis, what I would you do is just set this up right here. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask them, because he is absolutely just going to share from his heart what he's been dealing with. So this is Travis. I've known him since he was 7 months old. And Travis, you know, let's kind of let you tell your story. You know better than from you and your experience. So I know the shock of your life came when you were diagnosed with stage 3 testicular cancer. tell me, what made you even concerned, and what brought it to your attention, and what did you do?
It's tough because being a guy, you kind of don't want to think anything's going on with you, especially in that region. So I felt like a BB or something small on my testicle, and kind of was unsure of what it was, and just kind of ignored it, played with it a little bit, like, let's see what this is, and it didn't affect my daily life, so I was still continuing to work out. I was a big fitness guru. My best friend Jimmy got me into it when I was 16 years old, and been pursuing fitness career ever since. I was probably at my strongest point in 2013, benching somewhere around 405 pounds with this growth on my testicle. It was, like I said, it wasn't hurting me. It didn't cause pain at all. So I ignored it, didn't tell anyone about it, because
How long did you go ignoring it before you told your mom about it?
I probably noticed it spring, summertime, sometime before then, sometime around that time, and I didn't say anything until probably like September or October, or something around there.
So you let several months go by?
Yeah, I let several months go by. I mean, like I said, it wasn't affecting me at
You're
all.
young, you're invincible.
I was young, 25 years old. I was healthy. I was in great shape. Very, very charming in a sense. I noticed it was getting a little larger, and I don't know how many guys have a relationship where they can approach their dad and be like, "Hey, something's going on with my downstairs, my testicle region. You want to touch it or look at it?" Well, me and my dad don't have that kind of bond where I can be like, "Hey, Dad, check this out." So
you got to put some fun in there.
yeah, I kept it to myself. And at one point, I did tell my buddy Jimmy about it, and he was like, "Man, I don't know. Like, I don't know what that is. I've never heard of anything like that." So that was my one chance of sharing before I was just like, okay, he didn't have any advice of what to do, so I just didn't do anything. October came around. It was probably the size of like a small lemon or something at this point. It was like 70% tumor, probably 30% testicle. I could still feel some squishy testicle. The rest was pretty firm, and I was feeling a lot of back pain and getting a little nauseous at times. And I was taking ibuprofen for probably 2 weeks. Every couple hours, it was just like, trying to stop the pain. I decided, hey, let's get on Dr. Google and check it out. Symptoms of testicular cancer. It showed, growth on the testicle, lower back pains, lower abdominal pains, and I was just like, okay, check. I don't know if I had lower abdominal pains, but I'm sure it was involved in it, so I was basically shooting 3 for 3. So I got a little sick and threw up that night, or one night, and I went home, told my mom, hey, I'm pretty sure I have testicular cancer. She kind of laughed at me like, oh, no, you don't. You just have a stomach bug. And I was like, okay, if you say so. You don't have the testicle that I do, so.
It's kind of a shock, Mom, to think that your son would actually, this is his mom, Linda. Hi. And what did you think and feel when he came downstairs and shared with you his concerns?
I thought he had a stomach bug, and for him to say, no, I have testicular cancer, was the last thing I ever expected to come out of his mouth. And I was like, well, why would you even say that? And that's when he finally decided to tell us what was going on. And then it was you go into mom mode and you just go, okay, what's the next thing we need to do?
Yeah.
And so we immediately started trying to find a doctor for him to go to and get this checked out.
You've had cancer touch your family in the past, so you lost your mom to cancer.
Exactly.
And so you're kind of familiar, but you really just did not.
Not with testicular cancer.
Yeah.
That was a first.
Yeah.
We've had breast cancer, colon cancer, lung cancer in our family, but this was the first.
So you contacted a doctor.
We took him, he did not have insurance, medical insurance, and this was November of 2013, and he would be turning 26 in December, so he could not get insurance, we couldn't get insurance on him under our insurance because there wasn't enough time, and so he was going in it without any insurance, so we took him to the Rockwell Health Clinic, and they said, you need to go to the emergency room. And my husband was with him, and he had already made an appointment with a urologist the next day. So he didn't go to the emergency room, but he did go to the urologist the next day and was told he was 90 to 95% sure he had cancer.
Oh my God, Travis. So when you heard that, and no one likes hearing that word, cancer.
I broke down when I went into the guy. My dad was in the waiting room, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I have testicular cancer or something going on. He's like, okay, let me see. He felt it, and he looked at me and goes, yeah, you have cancer. And I was like, well, I mean, you have an idea. Until someone with a medical degree says, hey, this is cancer, it's kind of like, well, maybe it's not cancer. He was not the best at bedside manner. He looked at me and he was like, it's pretty advanced. You're probably going to die. And I was just, I heard that and I was just like, wait 1 second. Let me go get my dad real quick because I'm not going to hear anything else you have to say. You said I have cancer and that I'm probably going to die. So I went and got him and I sat in the waiting room while he talked to him and I cried basically just praying that this was a dream of some sort, a bad dream, nightmare. They said, you're going to have it removed. I was like, okay, that's crazy. I thought maybe that's all. Remove it and I'm done. So we have a surgery planned. By the way, this doctor had 9.5 fingers. The guy who cut on me, my surgeon, had 9.5 fingers. So I was kind of nervous, like how well he was going to do. It's kind of a favorite part of mine down there. So I didn't want to have him mess up. But everything went well. I got out of surgery.
Where'd you have your surgery?
Sunnyvale at their medical center out there. And, I had a lot of friends come see me, which was awesome, a lot of support. I was laying there in the bed, and the nurse was like, yeah, if you want, you can change back into your clothes. And I said, okay, cool. I was like, by the way, how big is this incision going to be? And I looked down there, what's it going to look like? And she was like, oh, just like an inch or something. And I was like, okay. I was like, all right, you got that testicle through an inch hole, okay. So everyone leaves the room, I start to change, I look down and I was like, you lied to me. It was like 4 inches, it was like as long as my finger, and it was all super glued together, so it was kind of weird thinking if I cough or if I, sneeze, it's going to open up. But it didn't. I was walking around, not very well, but I was, up trying to move.
All of you guys, please go get checked for your prostate.
Definitely. Testicular cancer is not a joke. They didn't teach us anything about it in high school. No one ever, it wasn't a thing when I was growing up, and no one shared anything about it. No doctors, no nothing. So I was kind of like a guinea pig in a sense. Since all this has happened, two of my friends had been diagnosed with testicular cancer. One approached me while I was still going through treatment, and he was asking me all these questions. What happened? You know, why did you think? What were your symptoms? Blah, blah, blah. And I was like, why? You know, I told him, but I was like, why are you so interested in this all of a sudden? He's like, well, you know, I found something on my testicle, and I was like, go to the doctor immediately. Just go. It doesn't matter if it is cancer, if it isn't cancer. You need to find out. There's no need. You see what I'm going through. There's no need to wait. It's not worth waiting to say, oh, maybe it'll go away. And it's not going to go away by itself. So he went. I saw him a couple weeks later. He came back. He gave me a big hug. He's like, man, thank you so much. I was like, for what? And he's like, it was cancer. They removed my testicle, and now I'm fine. And I was just like, that's awesome. You know, it's really good to hear that you don't have to go through what I went through, because you had someone who went through it. So it's kind of cool. I was very bitter. I was very mad at the world when I was told I had cancer. But yeah, it did spread. I you know, avoided the doctor for a while, so it had grown and became aggressive and spread throughout my body. It was in my lungs, my pelvic area, my liver, brain, lymph nodes. I mean, it was pretty much everywhere except for the pancreas and the kidneys. So it was very scary once I got out of the hospital, and then it was like, you know, so am I cancer free? And they're like, no, you have lesions in your lungs and everywhere. They're like, it's everywhere. And I was just like, I thought I was going to be done, and now here I am, 25, and now it's everywhere. You know, like it was a very, very hard, eye-opening experience. You know, when you grow up and you're strong and you're healthy and you're fit, you think you're Superman, you think you're untouchable. It was a grounding experience for me to know that I'm not in control like I thought I was. I'm not all powerful. I'm not a superhero in a sense. God controls everything that goes on in your life. You know, He gave me the abilities to be healthy, to be strong, to be good at all the skills that I have. It is because of Him. It's not because of me and my practice. He gave me the ability to practice. And, you know, I never really gave back to Him in a sense of thanking Him. You know, I kind of took it for granted. Trying to take walking for granted, take getting up in the morning for granted. You know, you think that because you're human, it's going to happen. Nothing happens just because God allows it to happen. So,
and even walking today, show what you're.
This is my best friend. Me and my team, Travis Kane. Now, after going through a year and a half of chemo and that fell, surgeries, brain surgery, abdominal surgery, lung surgery. All the chemo and the steroids, it gave me avascular necrosis of both of my hips. And when I went in August of 2016, because I was in a lot of pain since like the end of May, beginning of June of 2016, I was starting to hurt when I walked, and I was like, what's going on? You know, like, I'm cancer free, I've done all my surgeries.
You've had so much surgery. And you've gone through so much. You want to show?
Surgery?
When he had, even in his surgery in his brain, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm going to try and get close right there. Turn your head right there.
Mm-hmm.
This right here is where they had to cut into his skull and do surgery. Bless your heart. And that's not it. They also had to go in to your lungs, and you've got a scar.
I've got awesome scars. I used to hate showing you. This is the abdominal one. This was October of 2015.
Mm-hmm.
October 2015. The brain was May of 2015, and then 2016 February I had lung surgery, and I mean they were all within 8 months or so of each other, which was pretty crazy.
While you're walking, I know. So someone looks at you now, Travis, and they're like, "Whoa, you're big and strong." I mean,
Exactly. It's hard.
you know,
it's hard to
really,
be
what's
fit.
wrong with you, Travis? If you're great from here up, but your hips,
Yeah.
from all the steroids, we give up all the honor and glory to God for what He's done. He's moved a mountain and restored you, and you're alive to share this.
Right.
But you walk with a cane. So when people see this big old strong guy literally walking with a cane, do you get some funny looks?
I am almost embarrassed to walk with this cane just because, I don't know. I mean, I don't like assistance or help. You know, after I've been through everything I've been through and I got through it, me and God did this, and now I have to, you know, I've been working out, you know, even though I'm in pain. I mean, it's been 400 days since I felt the first pain in my hips, and not one day have I not had pain. So it was.
So what's happening with, like, tell me, what is stage 3? Give us your diagnosis. What is it?
My understanding is that it's the blood vessels in my hips are dead. That there's no circulation in this area of my hips. All the blood vessels are gone. So without circulation, that's how your bones survive. That's how they grow. They feed off the blood flow. And since there is none, that the bones are dying. The actual hip bones in my sockets are dying and
So
chipping away.
what does your doctor want to do?
He, when I went in August to see what was it? Huh?
No.
Orthopedic. Yeah, I went in August
At MD Anderson.
at MD Anderson, where I had all my treatments. They were great. He said that I was 28. This was last year. I was 20 years old. He said, you're going to have double hip replacement. And I was like, oh, okay, okay. Look, why not add that to the list, right? And I'm just like, I'm 28 years old, and I have to have something that 80-year-olds do, you know, or 60-year-olds. And I'm just like, okay. You know, he's like, come back in a couple months, and we'll get ready for the procedure, and we'll start it. And I was just like, all right, cool. I was stage 2 at that time. Come back in November of 2016 and see him, and he's like, man, he's like, it's gotten worse, you know, after the CT scans and the x-rays, they're like, it's progressed, and it's stage 3 on the verge of bone collapse, which is the next stage and the next step. And I'm assuming that's the worst step. I don't know if it can get worse than collapsed bones to where, you know, you're like one of those little animals that you push the bottom and they go, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, all right, cool. So let's do this. I'm ready to be 28 years old again. I want to move and run. You know, I was fast. I like to run. He said, okay, well, we're not going to do it yet. You know, you're really young. And I was like, okay. He's like, so we're going to wait. Okay, how long? 10 years.
Oh my God. So what do you do for 10 years waiting on a double hip replacement when you're 28 years old? I mean, you're in a lot of pain. Mm-hmm. Did he want you to
he said,
what was he going to do to help you get through your pain?
Pain pills and anti-inflammatories for the next 10 years.
10 years being on pain pills that also harm your liver.
Exactly. Let's mess up your liver so you don't have pain.
And you've already had cancer
in the liver.
So the last thing you want to do is think about just any more damage to your liver. Mm-hmm. So amazingly, and God moves in ways that He knows, Dr. Darcy, Dr. Darcy is a chiropractor. Who in the heck would think a chiropractor would come in and say, Travis, I got something, so tell me about that.
That was really cool.
And I know it's probably uncomfortable with you standing, so feel free to sit down also.
My mom always posts my Team Travis updates from, just because I don't do it very often, so she gets on Facebook and is like, oh, Travis is doing this, blah, 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 this is what's going on. And their chiropractor, who I don't see him that often, or I didn't at the time, but I guess he's family chiropractor. He was like, hey, let me tell you about something. He's like, I got something that might help him. Come to this seminar. I want you to hear what these doctors have to say. I really think this could work. And it was awesome. It was like God put him in that spot to say, hey, let me help you. You don't want to go 10 years of pain and limping around. And I was just like, okay. So we went to this seminar for umbilical cord stem cells, and it's not real big right now. There's not a whole lot of people practicing in it. They did some experiments with it.
And let me reemphasize for you, it's not embryo stem cells.
Right.
It is umbilical cord stem cell.
So there's no death to the baby, no harm to the baby. It's after the pregnancy. The umbilical cord either gets thrown away or they store it for medical reasons like this. And they've had a big bank of them, and they're finally starting to do experiments with them and test them on patients and whatnot. So he had a car accident when he was in California, hurt his back. Being a chiropractor, he takes his back issues pretty seriously. He went to a couple different chiropractors, from what I understand, and it wasn't able to be fixed. So he was in touch with somebody, a doctor in Florida, and they did an injection or two on Dr. Darcy Brunk, and AKA Chris Pratt, Star-Lord. That's what I call him. But has no relation to God reference, just the movie. Anyways, it helped him. He's back, walking around, he's moving fine, and he's a bigger guy, so it took a couple injections, I'm sure. But he was like, man, this worked for me. I think it could work for you. Come listen to the seminar. We went. I was emotional through the whole thing, like, oh my gosh, like, I might not have to have another surgery. I can regrow the blood vessels and possibly bone in my hips just by injecting some stem cells. When I say some, 1 cc is roughly 10 million stem cells. And these stem cells are neutral. They don't have to be matched with your blood type. They don't have to be matched with anything. They're neutral healing cells, basically in a force field, so nothing ever touches them when they're in the umbilical cord or anything. So they inject those to you. They're like super smart cells where they seek out the damaged cells attached to them and start regenerating, growing, fixing the problem. I was on board from that moment on in January of 2017. It's not FDA approved. It's not covered on insurance, so it is straight out of pocket. And I knew that was going to be an issue for me because no, I'm not a full-time employee, or I didn't have a steady job at the time. I've worked at Dick's Sporting Goods, but it's not like they make you bank. So anyways, I was just like, I'm going to do it. I don't care what it is. I want this injection. So we went in February of 2017.
How'd you get the funds for that one?
That was my funds. That came out of my bank.
And you're pretty much broke.
Yeah. I'm handicapped. I hate saying it. I don't like to think I'm handicapped, but I am. I'm not normal. I don't walk around like a normal person. I don't have that function anymore. So everything I do is at a handicap percentage of my body. I'm not supposed to lift so much weight, yada yada. I mean, when I go to the gym, it's upper body stuff, unfortunately, and everyone's like, oh, you know, what about, I mean, when I can do legs, I swear to you, I am going to not stop working out legs. All I want to do is work out my lower body and run. Yeah, I don't even want to drive anywhere. If I ever get my legs back, I'm never going to drive. I'm just going to run wherever I need to go. Because it's when you have something taken from you, all you want is that feature back. You don't realize how much we take for granted the small things until you don't have them anymore. So it's difficult. But yeah, sorry, I got off track. I did have the stem cell injections on the 16th of February of this year. I mean, it took 7 minutes or so. I have a video posted on my page of that, and I think on the GoFundMe thing.
So what happened when you had that stem cell? At that time, I watched him. He would have to like grab his legs like this, getting out of a car, and then move them to pull himself up.
I was
like this.
Picking my legs up one at a time, putting them in the car, doing the same to get out. I mean, because I couldn't do that without pain. I mean, it still hurts to do it, but the pain was less.
But when did you start benefiting?
I feel like it was immediately. As soon as I got out, I mean, it could have been a placebo effect of there's something in your body that's supposed to be helping you, so maybe you think it's helping you. But honestly, I really think within a couple hours that I was feeling better. I was feeling more energy, less pain in a sense. A month, it was probably a month or two, like within each month. So March, I was like, oh, I feel better, you know, like the gap of which I could open my legs was, you know, this much in February, and then March, there was a little bit more without pain, and then April, you know, and then May, and it was just like, with each month, I felt more progress. I would get discouraged because it was taking so long, but at the same time, my body was so...
Had a long ways to go.
It did. I mean, you think about it. I'm 28, or I was, you know, 29 now. I was very impatient. You know, I was like, oh, I got something in me that's supposed to help me. I want it now. I want it now. I want it now. When you're a baby and you're in your mom's stomach, it takes 9 months to develop. You know, bones, blood vessels, brain. I mean, so I kept having to remind myself that, you know, it takes this long to do it in a stomach. I'm already full grown. I'm not sitting still 24/7. I'm having to work because I have to pay for things, and I want to feel like a normal person. So I want to be a part of the society. And, you know, you have friends constantly saying, let's do stuff. And I mean, it's hard to say no all the time. It's hard to be like, I can't. They're like, look at you. How can you not do this? You're physically fit. I'm like, well, from here up, yes, I am fit. I take care of my body. I work out because I can't stand not being in shape. You know, I was in shape before cancer, and then I lost 60 pounds before I started my treatment. From my testicle surgery to my first chemo, I went from 220 pounds to 160 pounds in two and a half weeks. It was very scary. So I looked like a Holocaust victim. And then from there, once I could start eating again, I ballooned up to 230 pounds. And I was not able to work out while I was going through all the treatment, so I was pretty uncomfortably fat in a sense for my body. I didn't like the way I looked, and I was very self-conscious, and it was very hard. I was very emotional because I had low testosterone. You know, you lose one of your testosterone makers, so I was around the average of 90 to 130 on the testosterone marker, which is not good for me when I'm or whatever.
Injection